Hello, my name is Mike Bath, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Last time, as usual, we're going to go through a little review of last video, because it will affect or have some influence on what we're going to be talking about today. So I'll reference that last video up here. The name, what it was, is Energy is Everywhere. And it's just data. It's just data. So outside of you, as our little diagram here shows, because this is the one we had last video, all these little circles represent your senses. And the senses are taking in different information based upon the fact of that particular sense. Hearing takes in different information than your eyes, or your touch, or your taste, or your smell. So each one of them is separate. And they're bringing in different data, which is just raw energy. And inside of you, you take that raw energy and you convert it into a meaning, which is your world. See, so you construct your world on the inside of you based upon your information that is raw data. And you filter it, and you manipulate it, and you throw some out, and you combine some together, and you end up with your world. Now, isn't that cool? So it's all energy, but you manipulate the energy. You, as the artist, take that data and put it on your palette, and using your belief system, you create your world. So that's what we talked about before. Now, the thing we're going to carry forward is energy is everywhere. Energy is everything. So we're going to go on with that now. And this is our subject for today. And I'm going to read it off my little piece of paper because I only put part of it up here. And it is, this is true. Everything is energy. And entangled. Now you notice that entangled I have underlined in red. So we're going to be talking about that. But again, from the last video, for the last several videos, within the illusion, everything is energy. We like to think it is object. Oh, by the way, we're having just a little green tea today. Very nice. So everything is energy. Now this is not unusual. This is a very scientific fact. Einstein's work did that. And so he was the one that said, well, everything is energy. That's all there is to it. It's all energy. And then he put his famous formula down, E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. Boom, like that, you get energy. So everything is energy. And everything, therefore, has another attribute called entanglement. Now, so we're going to talk about entanglement, and Einstein didn't like entanglement because it appeared to violate his premise that nothing goes faster than light. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Now, this has been a scientific fact of entanglement, what we're going to talk about, for the last 100 years. So it's pretty well accepted, and they've done a lot of experiments over, I think Japan was the last one that did an experiment on it, looking at the cosmos and aspects of stars and entanglement. Also, it is thought to be part of quantum computing, where we would use entanglement to keep people from knowing what information we're transmitting. Another interesting fact. Now, so on this, at subatomic level, if we have two particles, doesn't matter, photons, electrons, anything like that, and we put them in each other's energy system. Now, you notice this got a little system around it. This has a little system around it. When we get them close enough that we entangle the energy. So I won't be good at it, but hopefully you'll get an idea that as these two come closer together, I'm not going to, hard to draw on the board, so I'm going to just make their energy fields a little bit bigger, so you can get the idea that these energy fields will interact and become one system. Separate systems to start with, entangled, one system. So this now is one system. And when you try to explain it, they usually talk about spin. And they talk about spin up. And I got to change my little thing here. Spin down. Well, it just means they're opposite from each other. And that keeps the balance. Now keep in mind, we're looking at this on a two-dimensional board. It's many dimensionals. And these two now are entangled. They are locked into one system. And now if I separate these two and move this one way far away, like 2 light years, and electronically, I change this spin. I can do that by putting it through a detector and then through an operator that will change the spin. Oh, got the wrong color. That don't matter. Down. This one, instantaneously, 2 light years away, changes the spin up. So the balance of the system stays the same. Now, in three-dimensional, rather than saying up and down, you can say, well, this is at a 45-degree angle coming out of the board, and this one would be 45 going into the board. So the idea being that the system is balanced. And it doesn't matter where they are. Distance is not important. That's what screwed up Einstein in thinking about it. But it's a fact. A lot of theories of why it's a fact, but it's a fact. So now, this, if we look at this as, now I'm going to change it a little bit. See, I showed 2 particles. So now, let's put many particles in entanglement. Different types, but all entangled. We got different kinds. Bunch of particles. Bunch of different particles. Now you entangle everything. You entangle everything. Everything is, now these are entangled. Again, not two-dimensional, three or more dimensionals, all tangled into one system, into one, so this is system one. System one. And they're all entangled. Now, if I take one of these, one of them, and I change the spin or the property, all of these, every one in the system, to some degree, is going to shift around. It's going to shift around until balance. Until balance. They're all, then it's all balanced. How fast does it? Instantaneously. Instantaneously. If this one is 3 light years away, and this one's 2 feet away, and this one is 1,000,000 miles away, and so forth. You change one, you change this little sucker here, whoosh, they all change. Pew, like that. Isn't that interesting? No wonder Einstein had trouble with it. It's hard to think of. But that's the way it is. That's the way the quantum world operates. Now, science has said, well, that's the quantum world, okay? And it said, well, does it happen in the gross world, everyday world? Oh, yeah, but the effect is so subtle that the grossness of the egoic world you can't find it. It's just overridden by all the other trash that's going on in the egoic world. But it happens. Now I'm going to imagine that it happens in a different way. So here we have this one system. And right here, and we have many particles, many things going on. You might notice this is beginning to look like the infinite field of everything, which it is. Now we have this system one here, and here's this little particle. Imagine this particle. I'm going to move this one. But just so you know, this little particle moves now over here. Still part of this system, but it's over here. It's 1,000,000 light years away, or halfway around the galaxy. And then it comes in contact with another particle. Another particle. And becomes entangled. Now this is one. Now look at this as system 2. Number 2. Number 1. Now we have these two systems. We have this one, and we have a particle that's in both systems. So now, in entanglement, something changes in this system 1. This one here gets changed. And all of these shift to maintain balance. This one shifts. So now we have that one that shifted. So it shifted its spin or its property. That means this one's got to shift. Oh, isn't that interesting? As you change system 1, you automatically, instantaneously change system 2. Isn't that strange to think about? That's why you got to use your imagination. The write-up, the description, most of my descriptions are fairly long, about the size of a blog, and this one's a little longer than the rest of them, so you have to look at it and to get an idea. But now, in system 2, like in system 1, there are many particles. And those particles in each other's system are now all one system. So now we have system 1, entangled, many particles. We have system 2, entangled, many particles. And one of those particles in system 2 is also in system 1. Particles are very small. It's like us in comparison to the cosmos. We're very small. Now all these are entangled. Now each one of these entangled in system 3, in system 6, in system 10, in system n to the infinite power. Everything is interconnected. Everything is interconnected. Now, everything is energy. Everything is energy. Everything is entangled. In the egoic world, nothing is entangled. Nothing. That's the belief system of the egoic world. It's also the belief system, well, I'm separate. I have a free will and I can do what I want to do. Well, what if it affects me? That's your problem, pal. I'm going to have free will. Now, it's the same thing with this. It's an illusion. We're all interconnected. We are all interconnected within the infinite field of everything, which is the all, and what I call consciousness. Now, in the egoic world, we struggle. Well, does consciousness come out of the complexity of the egoic world? Or is a rock got conscious? Everything is energy. Everything is entangled. We don't see it that way because of our belief system, our strong belief system, and our ego. Because everything in the egoic world is ego-driven. Everything. And the ego is a creation that you make for yourself. And then every system within the egoic world has an ego, and therefore ego-driven. Doesn't matter if it's a company, a ball team, a bank, a religion, it doesn't matter. Within the illusion, everything is ego-driven. Behind the illusion, in consciousness, everything is one. And maybe, just maybe, although you're not going to be able to prove it scientifically, you're an extension of the oneness. Now, what does the Course have to say about this? That's interesting, because we're also talking about the ego. The Course has laid out certain rules that is recognized in the egoic world. And so this is, in the Course, one of the rules. I have said that the ego's rule is seek and do not find. The rule of the ego is seek, go look, go find. Oh, everything is out. Go find the solution, whatever it is. You won't find it, because the rule is to seek and not find. And the same thing is if it was a curriculum, and that's what it says. Translated into a curriculum item, this means try to learn, but don't succeed. We are embedded in consciousness. We are embedded in energy. And we are all connected. But in the egoic world, we think we're separate. We think we can do separate things. If you look real close, and you have to change your vision to do it, you'll find that everything is a dance. Everything comes out of a dance. When two people are dancing, however they do it, to the music, and the music is the all, the energy. However you do it, you merge out of that music as one thing attached to the all. Oh, there's much to talk about here in the illusion. And my last statement, oh, there is much to consider that is meaningless here in the illusion. And it's all ego-driven. You will not find reality in the illusion. You will not find consciousness in the illusion. Why? Your ego will have you search for it, and you'll never find it. You'll never agree on a definition. You'll never agree where it is. Why? It's an illusion. Be good to yourself. And we'll see you again next time, right here, in the illusion. Bye now.
Petit navire, il était un petit navire qui n'avait jamais navigué, qui n'avait jamais navigué. Ohé, ohé. Il partit pour un long voyage, il partit pour un long voyage. Sur la mer Méditerranée, sur la mer Méditerranée.